Hey, Nicole Trimboli here, former pro softball player and NCAA coach. Today I'd like to share with you a few of my favorite drills that I think really help create a lot of body awareness and isolate certain movements of the swing that we want to do in our real swing. So the first one we're going to start with is 90-45. So this one's really simple, but one of my favorite upper body drills to create hand path awareness and really understand the importance of getting to the ball and staying on the same path or plane after you hit it. So it's really simple. I'm going to set up a little bit behind the tee, maybe about a foot, and this kind of depends on your height. And I'm going to choke up a little bit on the bat because this is how I'm going to swing. I'm going to swing from this direction. I'm going to start neutral here, facing the pitcher. And then from here, I'm not just going to load my hands, but also get into that nice hip slot. And so these two things are kind of working in sync. Now, the hitters who are very spinny, meaning they don't move their hands necessarily to load, but they move their whole body, this drill is going to expose that. And so what we want to create is our little muscles, our little movements first, and our big movements following the ball. My goal is to drive this ball directly up the middle. If I keep my hand path really clean, meaning I stay inside the ball with my knob, throw my barrel last, and stay on plane for a few more inches, I should be able to drive it right back at the pitcher. Now we're going to add the 45 part. And what I mean by 90-45 is the angle to the tee. So when I was doing 90, I made this nice 90-degree angle with the tee in my back foot. And then when I transitioned closer to my actual swing, now I'm at 45 degrees here to here again, meeting my back foot with the bottom of the tee. And from there, I've got the same goal. I'm trying to drive the ball directly back at the pitcher without over rotating here and flying open with my front side. My goal is again to drive it right back up the middle. And I'm trying to see how long I can stay on plane after contact. I don't need to be in a rush out of the zone. In fact, I want to be really close, tight, and quick into the zone. But from there, once contact happens, I'm trying to chase the path of the ball with my barrel as long as I can versus flying away. That's the 90-45 drill. Awesome drill for your upper half and creating really great awareness for hand path and barrel path. This drill is called the 2T drill. It's really simple. I am setting up a barrier essentially, or a boundary for the end of my barrel. Casting or coming around the ball is a really common problem with hitters, and not just young hitters, but even college players. And so a really simple way to retrain that bat pass so that their hand stays inside the ball as long as possible, and the last thing that is thrown is the barrel, is to create a boundary that's safe. But if they come around the ball, they're going to hit this tee. This is rubber, so I'm not going to hurt my hands and I'm not going to break the tee. And so it immediately creates a reason for me to try to keep my knob in tight over this white line before attacking. So let's do a bad one first where I cast. So I caught this tee. I still hit this ball, but before contact, I caught this tee with my barrel. It didn't hurt, but it gave me immediate feedback that my hands and my knob are moving away from my body first and then trying to come around. Now we'll try to take a clean swing where I don't make any contact here because I've kept my knob inside the ball on this white line and thrown my barrel last instead of coming away from my body and wrapping around. That's 2T drill. You can use a pool noodle, something that's safe right here. Depending on the size of the hitter, you'll have to create your boundary. Mine is about maybe a foot apart. That's 2T drill. It really helps with kids who cast because they get immediate feedback and they know whether or not they stayed inside the ball or they wrapped around it. The next drill I'm going to show you is called load, load, swing. This drill, load, load, swing, is exactly what it sounds like. It's not a very creative name, but a lot of kids think that they are properly loading and they're not. Oftentimes they'll move their feet, load, but they didn't engage their hands at all. Or load. Well, we don't necessarily want to load up. We want to work on lines with our hands. we want to load back. And so all I'm doing with this drill is creating extra reps of the actual load position without having to worry about the ball. Very simple. I'm going to have 2 loads, and then I'm going to swing. All of those loads should look the same. Even the one I'm going to actually swing on should look exactly like my first 2 reps. Load. Load. Swing. That's the load swing drill. Get your hitters extra reps of their actual load in a position that they want to be in and they can pay attention to and feel.